We'll be live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are live. Great. Anyways, so let's not delay and start the session. And I was checking to see if we are active on YouTube. Anyways, I'll be doing the sweep, market shift, and fair value gap retracement on NAS. This is why the session is named like this. That's the session I'll be backtesting. So far I have an overall win rate of 40.42, and I am on a 65-day streak. This looks really clean. So yeah, that's really nice. So let's get into the session. This is day 61, backtesting until I'm profitable. Right, so I'll start obviously with the weekly time frame, and I'd like to remove the drawings. You have been so good. Right, so you can see we are in a continuous downtrend. So I don't have a reason to break it. Maybe it will continue. So far we had this sell side taken out, and we are in this order block, which means that we might continue to the upside, but we'll see how it reacts. So I just wanted to see how the image looks on the weekly. Now when we go on the daily, you can see that we were in this downtrend from September. Then October, it was somehow didn't have a clear direction, because you can see it was in the downtrend, tried to shift, failed, dropped, tried to shift again, it failed, and then it started to spiral here, and then November started off bullish, and this would conclude and show us that overall we are bullish, since on the weekly we have took out this sell side liquidity resting on this low. Yeah, it's this one. You can see how the candle closed nicely. So we have this right here. Okay, now when I go to the daily, you can see that we shifted structure. We closed above this high right there, which means that we are bullish. Now I'd like to go to the 4-hour to see what we can find out on this day. So we're currently on Tuesday, and you can see that we took out these lows from last week, these equal lows, as the first draw on liquidity. So any entry that we would have found in here would be positioned in these areas here, like on Monday in the morning or in Tuesday morning as well. So I think that will be it, and we have a really big fair value gap here, which we might tap into and then push higher, but maybe we might at least first reach into discount. So from this low to the high, discount is somewhere below these lows, and you can see we tapped into it, but we didn't enter the discount. So yeah, back to the 1 hour. So before we continue, we can mark that we took out this liquidity. So I'd like now to go to the 1 hour. I have a bullish bias in mind. Like, I want to see the market push higher after that sweep. Yeah, so we are 12, and we get a good retracement into a gap on the 30-minute, then on the 15-minute. Yeah, it's a clean retracement, but you can't just enter off of this and anticipate it to drop, because we have no I can say it's clear, because when I go back to the 4-hour, we've already took out the sell side that we wanted to take out, except if the only thing that will happen is if we were to wait for rebalance to reach and discount from here to here, and then wait for this level. That will be the only way we can have an entry, and by which the entry will be a really short one. So I think this day has already ended. So next day, let's see how it opens. We still have a bullish bias in mind. We want to push higher. Going to the 5-minute, you can see it's consolidating a bit. Okay, it's not consolidating, but it's having candles with really big wicks. So maybe I'd like to see a sweep of some liquidity in the day, and then we push higher. Okay, going on the 1 hour, we can see that there is a really good gap order block there. And how does it look on the 4 hour? It's not that big, but there's also a fair value gap. How does it look on the 2 hour? Yeah, it's still a fair value gap. Going to the 30-minute, it's kind of like a clean order block right here, which means it might push us in these kill zones to take out these lows. Like this will be like the sell side liquidity being targeted, but keep in mind the kill zones will take out these lows and then shift. That's what we are looking for, but it might also not be provided. We'll see. We have equal lows resting here. Okay, we get now a shift in structure. We are still in the kill zone. We're not in the kill zones. New session has already started. You can see how good the 5 minute looks like. All right, now this is the candle that we were waiting for. You can see how it cleans on the 5 minute. Have this sweep, and now when I go to the 15 minute, we will have like our next run liquidity like this, like yesterday's lows, and then maybe we can see a move to the upside. Let's see what happens. Okay, you can see that we are rejecting the gap, which means here I'd like to enter with my stop loss placed right there. My target would be like this low here. Going to the 5 minute, refine my entry. So I'd like to risk 1%. Take profit open. Okay, let's see how this goes. So we get stopped out. It's crazy. Right after the open. I don't know if it's because our stop loss was tight, but you can see that, yeah, this wasn't a really favorable trade, and we end up pushing higher in the day, which means we were correct on our bias, but we just wanted to see like a more stronger sweep. Yeah, not bad. Let's see. So later in the day, like at 13, we get this huge push. I think this was from some news. Fed's beige book. We had speech from Fed share. Oh yeah, okay. You can see that we get a really good momentum, the one that we were waiting for. Wow, this is a really nice push. And how does it look on the daily? The daily candle is booming. You can see it's looking really crazy. And let's go to the 15 minute. Okay, I'd like to go to the next day. I still have a bullish bias in mind, and the reason is because when I go back to the daily, you can see that we are now created a higher low, and then we're about to create a higher high, which means this is our next draw on liquidity. Then we continue to push high and higher. And when I go to the 4 hour, I can see that we took out these lows resting here, and we shifted. 1 hour, we have this really big gap which might trigger us for a rebalance, which means first trade will be a rebalance, then next trade will be a push higher. But it will depend on what the market will show us in this day. So New York session is just about to start, and it's 1st December. All right, this is at 10. Now this is looking nice. We took out the eco highs that were resting there. We shifted the structure there, and maybe we would see a retracement into the gap. We get a good retracement into this huge gap, and now I'd like to go to the 5-minute and see if we get a smooth rejection. Okay, I think we can now enter off of here, then target to rebalance this move going on the 4-hour. From this low to the high, at least we would like to reach midpoint, so it's in this, we can target here. So this is where I would like to position our entry. Now I'll be risking 0.5%. So let's see how this trade works out, or if it doesn't, whichever happens. So we're trying to break below, but it's not happening. Looks like we're about to close our trade because the session has ended, and we wouldn't really like to force this. Now it's really risky to hold trades overnight on these futures, because they're very unpredictable in the night, so you wouldn't like that to happen. But we still have a bearish bias in mind as the next day starts. I want to see rebalance, then a full push. So the next day has just started. And London session is about to start. You can see we have this consolidation in the Asian range. You can see this. So I'd like London to sweep out this high, then we see a clean drop. Okay, we are about to do it. Did we take it out? Okay. Okay, we're starting to drop a bit, but it hasn't become clear yet. It might be clear maybe if we retrace into this gap, but first off I'd like to mark this sweep. We have a shift in structure internally there. Going on the 15-minute, we have the sweep. 5-minute internal shift. Maybe you can get a retracement into that gap. And you can see that we are starting to reject inside here. We have this fair value gap. And on the 15-minute, you can see that we also have this gap, and we touch into it and start to reject. So I would like to position my entry basing off of the 5-minute structure, where our stop loss will be above the high. On the 5-minute, I think that will be the look, and I think this will be it. And my target will be the previous day low, this one there, and take partials there. So I'd also like to add an auto break even when we reach to a risk to reward of 2. When we reach our 2R, we have to do auto break even. I think that will be it. Wait, how much did they risk? I didn't check. Oh god. Let's see what happens. We have news at 8:30. Wait, today is an FP day, so let's see if we are Well, I think in the coming minutes we will have an oh god, we'll have NFP. You can see how huge NFP became. Wow, it's really nice. Yeah, well, this basically shows us that, we had to rebalance this whole move. So NFP did that for us, even though it stopped us out, but we can see that, we had this week, it's like a week out, and then a heavy drop. So we can't blame ourselves for this. Maybe we can blame ourselves that we didn't check, but this was a really nice move on NAS. Anyways, let's go to the next day. But the analysis here was really on point. So I got 1 hour. 1 hour looked really, really nice. You can see how crazy NFP looked like. Aish. Let's go to the next day. I was like observing if there's a possible way to position yourself in here, but I don't think there is. No, except if you extend your stop loss, which is not effective trade management. Or maybe if you have stop loss somewhere there, that will be the only point where you wouldn't be stopped out. There, that's the only possible point. That means like you had to be entering on the 1 hour time frame for that case. No, click the next day open. So you can see that after retracing into discount, okay, this is looking nice. So after going into this on the daily, you can see after we dropped into discount, we're starting now to push higher, which means I would now start to look for some buys, because we filled this gap from the daily, so we can absolutely push to the upside. And today is Monday, which means it's a new week. So I'd like to mark that if we are to be bullish in this week, we have to start off like take oh god, no, I'll use the arrow. So you have to start and take out some lows, go higher, and do something like this. So it's like some kind of manipulation at the start of the week, but I still have a bullish bias in mind. And before we go on, you can see that these Asia lows have been already taken out before we start New York, which means London silver bullet might offer an entry. We have a sweep here. I'm going on the 30-minute. On the 15-minute, you can see we haven't reached the silver bullet yet, but this might offer a silver bullet entry, possibly. So we even sweep, even drop lower and take out this low. Let's see if we shift. So we unfortunately don't shift structure. So this Monday started off with some kind of manipulation move. So this is at 7. And you can see that we take out these highs, we shift structure. But we would like to see like what would push the market to move lower. We honestly still want the market to push higher before doing all it should do, but maybe we might base off of the 1 hour. You can see like this whole price move from this low here to this high might need a rebalance, maybe into OTE. But since this week was from news, let's start here. We might need a rebalance, a drop into OTE, then a push. That will be the only reason we would like to see market drop, because you can see that we are in a really big fair value gap here, and you can see that it's being respected currently because this week, you know, has closed above. So there's also a possibility that market might drop, but overall I want to see it push higher and take out this buy side. The only drop we would expect is a takeout of this low. But we still have equal highs here, which is a really good liquidity point. Okay, so in the day we get a drop. At 9:30 there were some news and we push higher on this order block like structure inside there. Have we reached OTE? I think we have. From this low to this high, we have reached OTE, but from this low, we haven't. Okay, we were about to reach OTE, but this is still a confirmation that soon we'll push high. Soon, we might fly. So turns out we were on the wrong side of the market. You can see it ends up dropping. So you can see we have a clean market maker sell model here. Clean curve as respect to this other block inside there. I don't think we'll have any trade for that day. And boom, next day, I think this was this news. I don't, okay, there were no news, but at 9, you can see we dropped 9, which is 9:30 here. You can see we had a really clean drop. You can see how good these fair value gaps were respected. So he tapped into this fair value gap and started to drop. Retraced back and then dropped ultimately, which means we might not just rebalance, but we might also reach OTE of the daily, since we also swept out this high. This is nice. So we have from this low to this high, we have dropped significantly. This is a really nice move, so let's go to the next day. That's maybe where we might expect to find some more. So after this huge drop yesterday, Wednesday started off like that. Let's see how it does. So we still have a strong grown liquidity on these lows. Since we approached them, it's very possible to take this low out as a draw on liquidity. So we take up the high from Asia as soon as we open, because you can see, I think, oh yeah, the Asian highs are there, so we didn't actually take them out. So London session consolidated for a bit, but it dropped into below the Asian lows. These lows are a great point of liquidity. By 6:40, I don't know what happens, but we eventually drop into them, and yeah, that's not bad. And ooh, New York is really looking nice. So we end up taking out even the lows that were on the 4 hour. I think there are some lows here. I also end up taking out this low, which means this is a clean drop. So as the day opens at 8, we have a small pullback, and then a push, and we take out this high. Get a good retracement into this fair value gap. So going on the 4 hour, you can see it took out these lows. Good sweep on liquidity, and after that maybe we'd start to push higher. After this, did we reach the midpoint of this whole move? From this low into this high, we reached midpoint here. We can say that we passed midpoint and reached into discount by a few pips. So is this a risky trade we will be planning? Because if we have a sweep that large, then that means we are planning to trade on something like a reversal. Whoa, look at this week. Take out these highs, then we drop massively, and we create a small fair value gap. So first off, we have a sweep. Then we get a shift in here. But this is on the 5 minute. Let's see if we get a retracement into the gap. Okay, we get one. And how does it reject? Alright, I think this will be now our cue to enter. You can see how the 1 minute was really aggressive on dropping. So we would take a sell with the stop loss resting above the recent high and target like a 1 to 2. And I think that will be the trade of the day, where we would be targeting the low.
Mama, he's making a video. Hi, fans.
Anyways, so we add the screenshot. Save. Ooh. This is okay. This is an obvious stop out. Might stop fighting the odds, but you can see like how this week is looking like. Yeah, very clear stop out for real. let's just read the price and see how the day behaves later on. So a new day has started. We have our draw. I have a previous day high and the previous day low. Here, previous day low, previous day high. Let's remove this. So what buys do we have in mind? In the daily, you can see that the dropping momentum has decreased a bit, and we took out this low. This is 1, and 2 takes out the Asia highs. So this is a confirmation. This is like a confirmation that they might be bullish. So because you can see we failed to break below this low, so our drawn liquidity will be the previous day high. Oh, the previous day high was hit faster than, oh god, what's this? It's really surprising. Really, Nas is somehow really, okay, not somehow, it's very volatile. So going on the 30-minute, you can see that this is a crazy sweep of liquidity. And then in the 15-minute, you can see we have a crazy shift. So you can mark it right here, market shift. Let's see if we get a retracement. Okay, we drop at 11 into this gap. And how does it look on the 30-minute? On the 30-minute, you can see that we are currently in a crazy fair value gap at 15. Yep, you can see that we reached the gap right there. I'd like to hide this now for a bit. Okay, so you can see that we retrace into a fair value gap here, fair value gap. And on the 5-minute, I'd like to see like a small rejection. Okay, you can see that we're starting to reject. Okay, how does the candle close? You can see that we rejected with 2 weeks, so I'd like to enter for buys in here, with my stop loss being in the open of the candle below the low, which means I'll base off of the 15-minute. I might position my stop loss in there and target like a 1 to 2, which might probably lead me on this high, so that would be like a 1 to 3. And we are currently at 11, so yeah, session is still active, so I'll be risking less and less and less until we get out of drawdown. Okay, session has just ended and we haven't had that push yet, so let's hold it overnight and see. So holding the NAS overnight is really risky, because you can see what happens at 8:30 the next day is an absolute mess, and this is the highest that it reaches. So while this red folder news, it was PPI. But we have some other news at what time was this? At 10. which will be the push to the upside. Okay. So we don't end up taking out the high. Anyways, that was enough for this model, for this pair. Let's see how it look. This has London pairs only. I want to test the ICT entry model. Sorry. On Euro USD, GBP USD. See. Assets, and obviously it's Euro USD, GBP USD. I still want the data from like 2022. Okay, let's open this one. So I think I'd start with EU, and it's already in motion. So we have a small downtrend on EU weekly. It's not small, it's really huge from last year. Yeah, you can see it's a crazy downtrend. But on the daily, you can see we shifted the recent high created. We have a cock here, and good enough, we also have a daily fair value gap. We are in the daily fair value gap. You can see from this candle. Now when I go to the 1 hour, you can see that we are in a crazy drop into this gap right here from the daily, and we take out this low and we go on the 1 hour. See that we also take out this low. Maybe if we get a shift, we can look for some buys, but so far my bias is we can react on off of this fair value gap and be bullish. Nothing more than that. So we are post session. How does the next day open? Like it consolidates before the next day starts, like before London session, and creates some highs inside. And maybe I'd like to see a sweep before we start to push higher. So we are obviously getting a reaction off of the gap and going on the 30-minute. You can see we are having so far a good reaction. So far we haven't got a clear sweep. Okay, we have a sweep on the higher time frame, but we haven't got a clear like fair value gap for entry. Okay, we get a crazy week as the market opens. Get some really crazy weeks. So far no opportunity other than, okay, the only possible opportunity will be bearish, but we still don't want to see this bearish, because the reason I'd say that there's opportunity, you can see maybe that this will be the sweep, shift and retracement, but I don't think that will be it. But let's just wait and see. So you can see that we end up taking out that high at 11.15, and we get a retracement into the gap and start to push higher. So you can see that we've already reacted on that daily fair value gap, and oh god, look at this that we missed. Anyways, yeah, we'll continue backtesting it later, and until we meet again, stay